What's going on, my guys? Today we're gonna be taking a look at Mr. Brian Bomac McIntyre. He had a really strong point he made in his latest interview when he's getting his haircut. I want to take a look at it. I want to debunk it a bit. I am a bit concerned about the Crawford camp. Make sure they're watching their film. Let's get right into this one.
Please welcome the first ever and only undisputed super middleweight champion of the world.
That power ain't gonna be able to sustain throughout the fight. Watch. And he usually slows down between 6 and 7. If you slow down, that's a fucking wrap.
That's what you've been seeing in these last couple fights from him?
I mean, yeah. Fuck yeah. I've seen him slow down going into the later rounds, and I've seen his ass get outboxed.
And
okay, so that's really interesting. I know that's a really strong point from Brian McIntyre, and I think he's being genuine here, right? I feel like he is telling us how he does truly feel about Canelo Alvarez. I don't think this is for promotion. I think he genuinely feels Canelo Alvarez takes his foot off the gas towards round 6 and 7, but that makes me question is the Crawford camp watching the film how they're supposed to? Are they going into camp with a already built-in pre-notion on how Canelo Alvarez is as a fighter? Do you get what I'm saying here? I really hope they're watching the film and they're not just going off of what they've seen already, or what they thought they've seen, or what they thought they knew. But this type of statement makes me think maybe they aren't watching the film how they're supposed to. Maybe they aren't watching it as closely how they're supposed to. So I want to just do a quick little numbers game. We'll look at Canelo's last couple of fights, starting off with the Berlanga fight. I'll make my screen a bit bigger here. Let's get it to about, how big am I? I'm actually fine. What are we at? 300%. Okay, there we go. Starting off with the Berlanga fight. When we're looking at Canelo's output's fairly low. It's fairly low. It's really rarely gonna top 60. Just due to the lack of size, being at the bigger division. Now stamina is worse than it's ever been. So he's never gonna top 60 punches in a round. But if we look at the early rounds, let's look at 1 through 6. He's throwing 16, 28, 44, 31, 32, 46, right? The only time he eclipses 50 punches against Berlanga is in rounds 9 and 10. Around round 11, he even throws 46. Round 8, he throws 47. Now in round 7, he does slow down. He throws 27, which is some of the lowest throughout the entire fight. But in the same breath, like I said, he almost threw 50 punches in the last 5 consecutive rounds. So I don't know, Bomac. I don't know, man. From what I'm looking at from the Berlanga stats, it doesn't seem like he's slowing down much. Even let's take a look at power punches, which is Canelo's bread and butter. We probably just want to look for rounds he eclipsed 30. He doesn't eclipse 30 power punches thrown in the first 6. Only times he does it is 8, 9, 10, and 11. So it seems like against Berlanga, at least, he's turning the heat up in the last 4 or 5 rounds. Let's look at Jaime Munguia. Against Munguia, he fought at a really great pace against Munguia. Actually a bit higher than usual. Let me see. Threw 536 punches against Munguia, and then Berlanga threw 464. So a bit higher of a pace. I want to say maybe just as accurate. Just as accurate. In terms of power punches, just as accurate. Body punches, just as accurate. It's like carbon copy in terms of the accuracy in this fight. But against Munguia, let's just look at Bomac's point. Is he starting off hot and then turning it off? Let's see. He throws 11, then 50, 41, 56, 50, 48. So he starts off almost throwing 50 plus punches almost every round, right? For the first half of the fight. But then in round 7, he eclipses 50. He pushes towards 60, throws 58. Round 8, throws 38. Round 9, throws 44. Round 10, 42. Round 11, 51. Round 12, almost 50 again with 48. And the power punch department, he's eclipsing 30. He only eclipsed 30 once in the first half of the fight. The second half of the fight, he did it 3 times. So the Munguia fight is weird. He fought at a really good pace this fight. Never really let off the gas. Never really let Munguia just have a lot of moments. He was always in control of this fight. He did start slow as usual, but a great pace, fought all throughout this fight. We'll move on to even the Bivol fight. I want to take a look at the Bivol fight. All right. It's zoomed in quite a bit. Is this okay? I gotta zoom this out. So even the Bivol fight, a fight where I believe Canelo did gas, a fight where I believe Canelo didn't look the best and he did get outboxed. I think that's what Bomac was referring to. He starts off the first half of the fight, does not eclipse 50 punches. Only times he does it is in the second half of the fight. So even a gassed Canelo, I say in round 10 he was a bit out of it, right? Because he had a really good round 9. I thought he took round 9 from Bivol, I believe. But round 10, it seemed he was out of it. But even still, he was always firing. Bivol's output and Bivol's conditioning at 175 is just, he's always going to be able to stay one step in front of Canelo just because of who he is as a 175 pounder. But like I said, there's no crazy drop off that Bomac is possibly referring to here, right? Like I said, his peak punch numbers are coming in the later rounds. Even in terms of power punches, he's throwing 30 plus only in the later rounds against Bivol. Let's move on to a southpaw and John Ryder. Against Ryder, his numbers were fairly low. How much did he throw? 459. It's not too bad. Against Ryder, comes out 24, 34, 39, 38, 38, 42 for the first 6. Then the last 6, he goes 45, 42, 51, 36, 36, 34. Oh, he does slow down later in the fight. I can see how you could say that. He didn't eclipse 40 once in the championship rounds, but he only time he eclipsed 50 punches was in round 9. Same with the power punch department. Only time he eclipsed 30 power punches was in round 9. So it looks like Bomac is getting his numbers off. It's not the 6th or 7th round. If anything, it's looking to be the 9th round. We see this with Ryder. I don't believe he gassed with Ryder. I feel like it's fought at a really slow pace. But even with Bivol, round 9, really strong round, 10 out of 52 punches. Round 10, he goes 4 out of 27. All right, let's move on to Billy Joe, another southpaw. He fought a bit slower here. He fought really slow against Billy Joe Saunders, only throwing 206 punches. But we're looking at his peak production, round 8. Round 8's his peak production, and that's the round he stops him. I don't think he threw 30 power punches at all in this fight. Yeah, it was a really slow fight. Caleb Plant, we're looking at 13, 37, 24, 38, 30, 32. Then he goes to 29, 37, 46, 55. Then he stops him while throwing 20 punches, landing 50% of those. In terms of power punches, he eclipses 30 just twice, and those were in the later rounds. Once again, Callum Smith, 18, 26, 41, 50, 29, 32 is the first 6. The last 6, he goes 36, 45, 56, 59, 42, 60. So he almost eclipsed 60 3 times in the last 6 rounds against Callum Smith. In terms of power punches, yeah, he eclipsed 33 times in the last 6. Never did it in the first 6. So, like I said, Bomac is great. I think Team Crawford is great. I think they're formulating a very smart strategic game plan over there. But it does make me wonder. It does make me question just how closely are these guys watching the film. I hope Bomac has been studying and doing the proper film work, because based off his statements, it's quite evident he doesn't know what he's talking about. If he's banking on Canelo to slow down dramatically in round 6 or round 7, he's going to be in for a rude awakening. If you watch Canelo picks it up. He tries to match you, right? So if you're not throwing a lot, Canelo's not going to just beat the brakes off you. He's been in a really calm, tame pace, a really calm, tame fighter for a while now. But If Crawford goes at him at 6 or 7, Canelo's gonna match him. Go back and watch the Munguia fight and listen to what Eddie Reynoso said to him, and then look at his demeanor, and then look at how he goes out into the next round. Bring it to him. Match the energy. Munguia came out there energetic, while Canelo's more of a slow starter. And then he went out there, he matched the energy, he put him down, he picked up his pace gradually, and he boxed Munguia's head off. Like I said, if Team Crawford's game plan, if they're banking on their strategy to be, we're gonna, box it up for the first 5-6, and then after that we're gonna step towards Canelo and beat down a worn Canelo, it's a really bad game plan in my opinion. Canelo's gonna be just as fresh as he was in round 1 and round 7 according to the statistics. It could prove quite dangerous. It could prove quite, I don't want to say fatal. I don't think fatal is the word, but it could prove quite dangerous for Terrence Crawford if that's the game plan. But you guys let me know. Do you think Canelo has a gas tank issue? Do you think Crawford would be able to exploit that? You guys let me know in the comments below.